Good morning, maybe hopefully for the third time perhaps this morning. Hello and welcome to Dalgety Parish Church Facebook Reflections for Tuesday the 21st of June. I'm hoping you can hear me now, and if you can't, what I'll do is I'll pre-record something and put it up. I am not in Dalgety Bay, as you might have imagined this morning. In fact, I'm part of a tour that has come to Israel. And this morning I am in Tiberias. We're staying at the Scots Hotel in Tiberias, and that's where I'm standing just now. And I'm seeing some people join me, so that's reassuring that you can hear me. Tiberias sits on the Sea of Galilee, and I'm going to turn this round in a wee minute and let you see exactly where I am. There is the Sea of Galilee. I don't want to move too far away from you. But there we go. There's the sea. Turn you back round. It's an amazing, amazing opportunity and trip that I'm on just now. And I'm not going to wander too far. I had hoped to take you a little bit further down, but I'll maybe post some pictures later on. That is the sea in which Jesus, of course, calmed the storms, walked on water, went off to escape a little and to pray with the disciples after feeding the 5,000, called fishermen to be disciples. And it is an absolutely amazing place to be today. We've travelled all night and not much sleep has been had, but we have a gift of a day to be acclimatised to the 32 degrees in which we sit in. And it is just absolutely amazing. A gift of a day to rest, to recuperate, to spend time together. There's 30 or so of us here this week on an 8-day tour for a study trip. We're either student ministers or probationary ministers, and what a privilege it is to spend it, to explore. Part of our trip will take us to Bethlehem and Masada. We'll explore Galilee a little bit more tomorrow. And then we'll go down to Jerusalem and explore more down there. It is an absolute gift. So I wonder this morning what gifts you have and that you can give to someone else or that you can appreciate this morning. And in that gift, what change will be made, transforming. This trip surely will transform us all, and I'm really looking excited. I've enjoyed my morning of sitting in the sun reading my book, and about to go and join some others to cool down in the afternoon by the pool. It is an absolute privilege and a joy to have this time together, and I am so very, very thankful. I'm going to turn you back round so you can see the sea again, just peeking through the trees there. You really get to see the size of it. When we read about it in the Bible, we don't often appreciate how big the Sea of Galilee is. And it really is really quite big, and I'm really sorry that I can't show you it all just now, but the Wi-Fi signal just won't allow it. But it is absolutely stunning. I'm standing in what was the doctor's accommodation, and over there where the stairs are leading up to is the old manse, where ministers were in residence, and I'm telling you that's not a bad view. But it changed in 1921 to become a hospital for women and children and became the first in its kind in Israel. It's now a hotel, and if you ever get the chance to visit, I highly recommend it. It is a wonderful place to be today. And I'm not sure I want to put you off so you can stop seeing it. It's a little bit breezy, but the breeze is good and it's really nice. So whatever your day holds today, may it be a blessing. May you receive a gift or may you be given a gift. May you find time to rest. Enjoy another's company. May you look to see what is changing in you and where transformation is. Jesus transformed lives. God transforms lives today. And I am certainly one who's reaped those benefits. So whatever this day brings, may you all be blessed. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good morning. This is take two, as it were, of the reflection for Tuesday, the 21st of June. Longest day, shortest nights, and there's probably the shortest reflection, although I think I might have the record for that way back in the beginning. But sadly, we've lost our connection with Andrea, who was about to tell you where she was, and not to spoil any surprises, but many of you will already know that she is today starting a trip, a work tour, an investigation, research, wonderful time in Israel-Palestine. So I'm sure we will get that reflection up some point, and it is from Tiberias. We hope, Andrea, that the connections that you have on the ground there are much more secure, and it's not too surprising perhaps to know that we lost that connection with you. But perhaps someday or some point during the week we will be able to catch up with Andrea where she is and hear an awful lot more about what she's doing. But there's always a backup, and I'm the backup today. And the backup for my reflection is really about asking you about your reactions, reaction time possibly, how you react if a ball is thrown or if something falls off a table that you have to catch, those sort of things. If your reaction times are really good, if they could do with being honed, or perhaps you're just a natural, that skill that you have to catch things or to react quickly. It's not just physical reactions, of course, it's how we respond and react to what people say to us, how they treat us. All those sort of things are also really, really important. And some people have a knack of being able to respond quickly, but with some sort of real wisdom and ability to maybe diffuse a situation if someone says something harsh or just a bit too quick. Some people are just respond and say what exactly is on their mind and in their hearts, and that's fine. And we deal with that too. But it's nice when you meet people who take a little millisecond, sometimes it seems, just to read the situation a bit better and respond in a way that is, kinder, gentler, but we can only react as we react. And sometimes that does need some practice. If we react way too quickly all the time, or if we make decisions or judgments about people too quickly all the time, then perhaps we can work on that a little bit and just see if we can do something a little bit easier. How do we respond in that immediate moment? But how do we also respond when we've had time to consider and time to reflect and time to wonder what was going on in the background, what was going on underneath, what were all the things that were happening just before that moment that perhaps made things a little bit a bit more gritty, a little more difficult. So sometimes we need a little time, and then we respond. And that response, that considered response, is important too, because that can actually take in more people and more feelings and more situations and lead us to a better place altogether. In recent weeks, months, and the last couple of days, I know people who have thought carefully about their response to life situations, to work situations. I know people in my family who have made decisions in these last few days that have not been made in those last few days, but have come out in these last few days, which have and will make a huge difference to how they live and their futures. And although those thoughts and those considerations are ongoing always, that moment of decision and that moment of response is important, and it's hard. It takes a lot of courage sometimes to make that final decision and take that particular action that is going to change lives, the direction of your journey, the work that you do perhaps, the place that you live perhaps, all those decisions that are made not in the spur of the moment, but the actual decision is passed on to people in a moment. And then they have got to process what that means, perhaps for you, perhaps for them, perhaps for more people around. So it's about decisions and responses that we make and how we make them. And maybe what brings us to those decisions. It may be something that is not going well in our lives that we need to change. Something that is causing us undue stress that we need to step back from. Something that is not good for our family, and maybe something that we do enjoy, but it's actually not good for the entire family that we need to change and therefore make that decision. And we know that a lot of people around the world for centuries, forever, have had to make immense decisions which have been for them, but also for family and friends. People recently who have been making those same decisions as have been made for all those millennium that we have been here, to leave their homeland, to leave the culture, the places, the people that they have grown up with and loved, because for them, for their family, and for others around, it is a good decision to move somewhere else and seek a place of safety and security and welcome. And so today it's not only about the decisions that we make and the responses that we make or work out to our own challenges and problems. Today's also about looking to see what decisions other people are making round about us and how we can be helpful in that, how we can support them, encourage them. And if we are completely out the loop and knowing what it is they're deciding or discussing or needing to work through, then the very least we can do is offer a welcome, an acceptance, and a place where they can simply be and find some relaxation, some place where they can just stop and think and consider what the next step might be, what the next breath might be, because sometimes steps seem awfully big when you're in a huge dilemma and your life is in, well, great chaos. So perhaps today, our response, our decision making, it might be for ourselves and for our family and for the people around us that we love, care for, look after. It might be some huge decision that we have to make and we don't feel in a place where we can do it. We don't feel we have all the information because we don't know what will happen next, whatever decision we make. And sometimes we need the courage to simply make that decision if we believe it to be right. Those decisions can be harder when we are personally in a place of stress or grief or sorrow, or just our minds are completely filled with so many questions and so many fears that making that decision is really just too difficult. So today, if we have to make those decisions personally, take time and try and find someone that can sit with you. Not to help you make the decisions or make it for you, that's not generally possible, but someone who will sit with you and listen and just be there on the journey. And when we discover that there are people around us who are in those situations, then if we can be that person and just offer to sit with them, just offer to be that sounding board perhaps, without judgment, if we can offer to walk with them, just a part of the way, just for that moment, then that would be helpful. We've had difficulties getting connections with Andrea because she's many miles away and is about to go on an amazing adventure. But sometimes the connections close to can also be hard to make or to sustain. So if we can today, let's see what connections we can make. And talking about connections, just through in rooms 1 and 2 in our cafe area, Cafe Connect are having their final Cafe Connect of this term, and they will need to be given a wee bit of break over the holiday time. So things will be happening on a Tuesday. Next Tuesday's off, but things will be happening on Tuesday mornings over the summer. So please do come along if you can there'll be more information about that probably next week. And I really hope that we can reconnect with Andrea. This morning, maybe there's already another reflection on here, but this morning or some point during this week, when we can just share in that journey a little bit and see and hear and feel the experience that Andrea's having. Wherever she is heading, we know that she's going to have a wonderful time, hard time sometimes, lots to learn, lots to see, lots to take in. And so we wish Andrea well in her week in Israel, Palestine. So not from Tiberias, I'm afraid, but from Dalgety Bay. I hope you have a great longest day of the year and enjoy. God bless.